Everyone, Ed Bates again from Kilworth Chiropractic Clinic, and welcome to today's Daily Dose. Now, this is a topic which I confess we have discussed before. However, I feel it is so important, particularly at this time of our lives, that it's worth revisiting simply because repetition is a powerful way to strengthen the connections in our brain. So what I want to talk about is how stress affects the immune system. Now, according to research, 90% of all diseases are caused by stress. And why? Simply because stress compromises your body's internal homeostasis. In other words, the more stress and threats we face, or indeed the more stress we perceive, the more inhibited our immune systems and our growth systems become. Why? Because when you're stressed or under threat or in fear, your body allocates its energy and its resources to our survival and our fight or flight mechanisms. And these mechanisms are how we've survived and evolved and managed to evade threats and predators for the past few thousand years. But the problem is that this energy is also needed for other functions, such as your immune system and growth and repair. What do I mean by growth and repair? Well, you're made up of approximately 70 trillion cells. And every day, trillions of cells are dying off. For instance, the entire lining of your gut is replaced every 3 days. You lose something like 50 million skin cells every day. You're losing hair cells. Red and white blood cells are being replaced after a couple of days, and so on. So obviously, it's really, really important that all these cells are replaced. However, all this growth and maintenance requires energy. It requires lots of energy. And if your body's in a stress state and thinks it's being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, which at times of our lives certainly feel like this, your energy is then diverted into your survival and protection and your fight-flight mode rather than growth and repair and your immune system. So the consequence of living in fear or having major stress in our lives is that your brain shuts off these two fundamental things that keep you healthy and alive, namely your immune system and your growth and maintenance system. Because your survival from the immediate threat of the tiger, or indeed the perceived threat of the tiger, is far greater. Therefore, the more stress you're under, the more control you lose. And if you are not replacing the dying cells or helping your immune system function, your body eventually reaches a point where it breaks down. And at that point, you are then open to sickness and disease and infection. Now, often you hear people say things like, I caught a cold or I caught a bug. Well, the reality is that most of the pathogens are already in our bodies. In other words, most of the time we're already infected. But if you are healthy, your immune system will restrict the growth of these organisms. For instance, according to research, we all have cancer in our bodies. And when our bodies are functioning optimally, the cancer cells are suppressed and contained. But the moment you start to get overwhelmed by stress and by fear, and you inhibit the function of your immune system, these pathogens or organisms or viruses take over. And this is why they are aptly named opportunistic organisms, as they take the opportunity to take over when your defenses are down. So just to reiterate, you cannot be in growth and protection at the same time. So what can you do? Well, try and change your lifestyle so that you can adapt better to the stressors you face. So think well, sleep well, eat well, and move well. And because you live your life through your nervous system, every single person should get their spines and nervous systems checked and freed of interference. And that is why, I may be biased, but everyone should see a chiropractor. On that note, have a great day, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. And I'll see you tomorrow.